last month has been a busy one for the Pharmacy Times team. We've been on the ground and on the phone covering 4 conferences: the Sports Pharmacy Summit, APHA 2026, ACC 2026, and the American Academy of Neurology annual meeting. Today's episode isn't about the week's top right stories, it's about the 5 most noteworthy things our team heard at those meetings, the findings, conversations, and clinical signals that we think deserve a place on your radar. I'm Luke Halpern. Let's get into it. Kicking things off at number 5, and from a conference that might be new to some of you, the 2026 Sports Pharmacy Summit in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The keynote came from Travis Tygart, CEO of the United States Anti-Doping Agency, or USDA, and it reframed a conversation that's usually confined to elite sports scandals into something much broader. His argument? Performance enhancement isn't just a problem in professional sports. It's a growing public health issue, one that's being accelerated by social media, online pharmacies, and a cultural obsession with rapid optimization. For pharmacists, the call to action was concrete. Pharmacists are often the only clinician standing between an athlete at any level and a supplement or compound that could trigger an anti-doping violation, interact with a medication, or just cause outright harm. The Sports Pharmacy Summit is a young but fast-growing meeting, and if athlete care is anywhere near your practice, it's definitely a conference worth watching. Number 4 takes us to Los Angeles and APHA 2026, where Emily Eady delivered what was, by all accounts, one of the most packed sessions of the meeting. Her subject was the full, current scope of GLP-1 and GLP-1/GIP therapies, and the scope is genuinely staggering. Beyond obesity and diabetes, the evidence base now spans metabolic-associated steatohepatitis, chronic kidney disease, and cardiovascular disease, with emerging signals in substance use disorder as well. Eady's message for pharmacists was sharp. People are drowning in GLP-1 information right now, much of it wrong, and pharmacists are uniquely positioned to be the clinical navigators who help cut through the noise. The pipeline of oral and injectable agents is moving fast enough that staying current isn't optional anymore. If GLP-1s are touching your patients, and at this point, they most certainly are, this session coverage is definitely worth reading in full on pharmacytimes.com. At number 3, we're in Chicago for the ACC 2026 scientific sessions, and specifically talking about a trial that could change how you think about LDL management in statin-treated patients who aren't at goal. Pharmacy Times spoke with Albercio Catapano about the Coral Reef add-on trial. The trial was designed to do something refreshingly direct: determine head-to-head how the oral PCSK9 inhibitor enlicitide compares against other oral non-statin options on top of statin therapy. The results were striking. Enlicitide produced roughly 65% LDL reduction. Critically, 1 in 5 patients failed to reach their LDL goal with enlicitide, compared with 4 out of 5 on the combination oral option. For pharmacists counseling patients who are needle phobic or who simply can't tolerate or access injectable PCSK9 inhibitors, this data introduces a potential oral alternative with meaningful efficacy. Number 2 stayed at ACC 2026, and it's a subgroup analysis that challenges one of the field's longest-standing assumptions, that aggressive lipid lowering is really only for patients who have already had a heart attack or stroke. Pharmacy Times spoke with Nicholas Marston about the SALIUS-CB trial. The trial enrolled 12,000 high-risk patients, none of whom who have had a prior MI or stroke, and randomized them to evolocumab or placebo. In the overall trial, there was 25% reduction in cardiovascular events. For patients without known significant atherosclerosis, who typically wouldn't have been prioritized for aggressive lipid lowering, the relative risk reduction was 31%. That's a meaningful signal for primary prevention. For pharmacists doing medication therapy management with patients, especially those who are high risk and haven't yet had an event, this data is directly relevant to shared decision-making conversations about PCSK9 inhibitor therapy. And at number 1, which is our top conference story of the month, we're heading to the American Academy of Neurology annual meeting, and a phase 3 result that has real implications for how generalized myasthenia gravis is managed and treated. Pharmacy Times spoke with Tuan H. Vu, who presented findings from the Phase 3 NIMBLE trial of cemdisiran. Data from the Phase 3 NIMBLE trial, which showed that cemdisiran monotherapy outperformed the standard of care combination therapy, suggests that the added complexity of combination therapy isn't buying patients anything in terms of efficacy. While the quarterly subcutaneous schedule offered with cemdisiran offers a meaningful reduction in treatment burden compared with more frequent dosing regimens. For pharmacists involved in neurology or specialty pharmacy, GMG is a condition where treatment complexity is high and the number of approved treatments is growing fast. Knowing where cemdisiran fits, mechanistically, administratively, and relative to alternatives, is going to matter quickly. Conference season isn't over, but all of this coverage is live now at pharmacytimes.com. I'm Luke Halpern. Thanks for watching Top 5 in 5, and we'll see you next week.